I got about 30 seconds.
Okay, recording is started. Let me just share my screen really quick. Okay, here is our waiver. Rest of the slides will be added to the Teams page. And we got that up there. So I am going to go ahead and stop sharing. And I know you got a couple more seconds, but I will give it all back to you, Barbara.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I so appreciate having a co-host. All right, everybody. I have 30 after on the dot. Welcome to Wednesday afternoon ERGOFIT. My name is Barbara Morgan with Health Fitness, and I'm here to lead you today. A couple reminders. Let everybody stand up if you can, and let's just take a couple big deep breaths up to the sky, stretch a little bit, just kind of loosen things up. The back care seminar is next Wednesday. It just dawned on me that it was before ErgoFit, so this is my last chance to do a public a PSA about the back care. I hope you can join me. There's a QR code. It will be posted at the end. A little stretching more up. So I hope you can join me for that. We're going to start today. The PEG, your practical ergonomic guidance today, is about the idea of balance and pushing and pulling. So I want you to be thinking about that as we're going through the stretches today. So we're going to start out with a really exaggerated shoulder shrug. So we talk a lot about trying to keep these shoulders down and what happens to us when we do this all day when we're typing and mousing. But you really want to make a conscious effort to have those drop. But what we're going to do is we're going to take them up as high as we can toward the ceiling in our ears, and then very slowly back, and then drop them down and come back forward again. So we're going to try that another time. And this is, we're going back. So think of this as the pushing part. So we're always trying when we stretch to kind of balance things out. We want to balance out the right side and the left side. And where we can, we want to push and then pull, or pull and then push. Works either direction. So we're going to do that a couple more times. Just really see how exaggerated you can make it. You do not want to do anything that hurts. If you have to modify anything, please do. We're trying to prevent injury with these 10-minute stretch breaks. And now I'm going to push. So I'm going to reverse that and very exaggerated. So this whole notion of pushing your shoulders back, raising them up and bringing them forward is something we don't do very often. Try not to round our shoulders when we're sitting at our desk. Sometimes I would give people a little picture of somebody sitting up straight that they could just put on their monitor just to remind you that during the day often we have a tendency to forget and start to round our shoulders. So we're going to now move on to a head tilt. So we want to tilt our head. We're going to tilt it over to the right shoulder. And remember, we're trying to keep this shoulder kind of down and locked. And we're going to tilt our head over. We're going to see how close we can get our ear to our shoulder. And then what I like to do is just reach back with your right hand and kind of massage in there, right at the top of your shoulder, down your upper back just a little bit. And I call this looking for golf balls. So see if you find any really tender or sensitive. Again, this is all part of that shoulders being rounded forward. You can move your arm up a little bit too, and just get a nice stretch. Your fingertips are great about kind of digging in there. And this also is a wonderful thing to do when sitting in traffic. On an airplane. Airplane seats aren't the best for us. See, and I could probably spend 10 minutes right here. We're going to go over to the other side. Tilt that head over, keep that shoulder relaxed. And as crazy as this is, my left side is a lot more sensitive than the right side. And that might have to do with your dominant hand. I am left-handed, but I mouse right-handed because back in the day, there wasn't an option to have a left-handed mouse, so I never learned to mouse left-handed. But everything else happens on that side. So again, just kind of, the more you can tilt your head over, the more you're going to get that stretch along the neck, and that also kind of gives you more access to those little points in your back that just really appreciate there being just a little bit of gentle massage there. Perfect. Okay. Cross arm stretch. You want to just be very careful. You don't ever want to grab at the elbow. You either want to grab in front of the elbow or behind the elbow, depending on how deep of a stretch you want. So we're just going to cross your arm and then you want to pull that in. So here's that pulling motion again. Again, not something that just happens as part of our day. That's why it's so important to find a couple stretches that you like or think about. You can even put those on a Post-it note and stick it to the side of your monitor. And just have some reminders or set an alarm on your phone every day that you just take 5 minutes or 2 minutes. You know, we've talked about this so many times. If you can't even get away from your desk and you don't have the ability to stand and work at your desk, just stand up, reach your hands up over your head to the ceiling and sit back down. It takes 10 seconds, but just breaking that plane and moving is what's important. We just spent the last 6 weeks talking about why movement is so critical. All right, I'm going to shake that out a little bit and go over to the other side. And I like to pull up closer to the shoulder because that gets my shoulder in tighter. But whatever feels good for you. And this idea of stretching is just trying to elongate these muscles and tendons and joints. We're not trying to force anything. We're just trying to take them a little bit further past what is your normal day to day. It gets the blood flowing. It's more lubrication for the joints. Just a wonderful, wonderful thing. But nobody does it enough. So now we're going to take both hands behind and we're going to pull those shoulders back. Again, see how low you can keep your shoulders. Don't raise them up. You want to keep them relaxed and down. And then if you can grab your fingers, that's great. You know, I can't do it so well, but some people can even grab their elbows. But what we're trying to do is just get a really nice pull across the front of the chest and the top of the shoulders. So low back care is next Wednesday at 1:30 Central Time. There'll be a slide posted to the chat when we're done. And also know that starting June 1st is Safety Month for you all. And there's all kinds of things happening through the month. That's why the webinar for this quarter was scheduled for June. Oh, perfect. All right, we're going to go into some wrist circles. So that whole idea of pushing and pulling again. So, you know, we do this a different way, but today we're just going to bend the wrist down. So there's your pushing. Turn sideways for you. And then we've got pulling. And you really should be able to feel this all the way up into almost your elbow. I'm going to tell you, 10 minutes goes really fast. And we're just going to make some circles as best you can, and we're going to go the opposite direction. So we're making sure we get both directions. Do both hands. Just kind of shake that out a little bit. We're going to go over to the left. So we're going to push our wrist down toward the floor. Really exaggerate it as much as you can. Hold that for a few seconds. And then we're going to lift it up. Do that again. And lift that up. And a little twist around to the outside. And a little twist around to the inside. And we are finished up for the day. Another big deep breath. Have a wonderful rest of your week, everyone. Very nice of you to join me. Thank you. And we'll see you hopefully at Back Care next week.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks.
You're welcome.